I want to just quickly go ahead and introduce tonight's webinar team. We've got Tony Mala, who's with us as Vice President of Communications here at ASE. And also assisting us tonight from the ASE Customer Service Department is Julie White, along with myself, Dave Kappert, and I'll be helping to facilitate tonight's event. Real quickly, just want to go over the online interface, as simple as it is. Just want to confirm how you can interact with us. On your left side of your screen, you have a viewer window, which is basically going to be the content that will be displayed in tonight's webinar. And over on the right, on your control panel, the one area of main importance to you is the questions pane, where in that box you can type in questions, comments, so on and so forth, that will come back to us through the webinar interface so that we can see what's on your mind. And doesn't mean that we'll be able to answer a question immediately while the presentation is going on, but we will get to it at some point, just depending on how much activity we have and how many attendees we have. Before I go any further, I just want to make sure that everybody can hear me okay. If I can get some feedback through the chat window. The fact that you can see right now a screen with online interface, control panel, and sound okay. I'm getting some feedback, so it sounds like we're in good shape there. Now I just want to mention real quickly that we do have a growing audience of people that are attending these events on mobile devices, both on the Apple iOS platform and also on the Android platform. There is a special app for that, so if you have not yet installed it and are having problems or whatever, you're not going to be able to really make it work on that portable device unless you do install it. So if that's the case, you may have to quickly go off to the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store to install that. But one of the things about these applications now is that they do provide full functionality, so you're able to totally participate in the webinar, which is really a good thing. And with introductions out of the way, Tony, we're going to go over to you. So let's go ahead here and switch screens. And
thanks, Dave.
Tony, take it away.
Excellent. Thanks, Dave. And I presume everybody is able to see my screen now. And I want to extend my welcome to everyone this evening. Thank you for spending some time with us. What I'd like to do this evening is to give you a little bit of a background on something that not a whole lot of people seem to know about, which is our ASE Blue Seal of Excellence Recognition Program. It won't be a very long evening, but I want to give you some highlights on exactly what this program is, how it works, and how it can work to help increase your business many different ways. So without further ado, let's get started. And let's talk a little bit about where the Blue Seal Recognition Program came from. First, it was founded in 1996, so it's been around for quite a number of years. The program is open to all repair segments, whether you're truck operation, car operation, collision repair, even some support operations such as hotlines have joined the Blue Seal program. It's basically designed to spotlight the top shops regardless of what area they work within the industry. So again, the whole purpose of the program is to have a way to allow those individual shops who have made the investment in their people to have them properly trained and certified, to be able to promote that to their customers, whether they're customers on the consumer side or whether they're fleet operations. Almost any type of service that requires excellence would benefit from having the Blue Seal of Excellence recognition. One thing ASE does to promote the Blue Seal shops is we have a shop search engine right on the ASE website. If you go to the ASE homepage at www.ase.com and click on the shop button, you will see a link to the Blue Seal program if you want to sign up. If you click on the car owner button, you will see a link to the Blue Seal search engine, where a consumer can find the closest Blue Seal shop. All they do is pop in their zip code, and they'll get a list of the shops in ascending order for distance. Blue Seal shops are recognized in a number of ways. One thing we do have is some exclusive signage, and if you look at the picture, you'll see an example of the Blue Seal sign. You'll notice it's a bright yellow color, and the sign itself has a date bar across the bottom that is renewed every year. Blue Seal program participation has to be renewed annually just to verify that you still have the correct qualifications to be in the Blue Seal program. And again, we offer this custom signage to help identify these and differentiate them from the businesses that have certified technicians but maybe don't qualify for Blue Seal. We also have some exclusive point-of-sale materials that you receive as a Blue Seal shop that will allow you to further identify your business as being among the best within the industry. So how do you sign up to be a Blue Seal shop? Many shops out there actually qualify but don't realize that they do. Basically, the qualifications are fairly straightforward. There really are only two, and we'll go over those in a second. But if you think you want to sign up to be the Blue Seal program, first thing you need to do is to confirm that you are in fact qualified. And again, we'll talk about that in a minute. Then you need to submit an application for review. The application can be downloaded from the ASE website, filled out, and faxed in. Applications are processed quarterly in January, April, July, and October. And once approved, you receive an official approval letter that lets you know you're part of the program, and then you will shortly after that receive the actual materials to identify yourself as a Blue Seal facility. And again, we'll go over those in a second. One interesting feature, there is no charge. If you do apply for a Blue Seal and in some fashion are not qualified for one reason or another, then you will not be charged for that application. The only time you pay for the application fee is when your application is actually approved. Let's talk a little bit about those requirements that I mentioned. As I said, the Blue Seal requirements are basically simple. 75% or more of your technical staff must be ASE certified as a first qualifier. Now, we're not talking about front office staff. We're talking about those individuals who are actually involved in the diagnosis and repair of the customer's cars and vehicles that you have in your facility. But again, 75% or more of your technical staff must hold an ASE certification. And among them, you must be able to account to have somebody certified in every area that you offer service. So for example, in a full-service automotive repair shop, you would have to have someone in the shop among, say you have 4 employees, 3 of them would have to be certified. And among those 3 employees, you must account for all 8 areas of ASE certification because you offer services in those 8 areas. If you're a collision repair shop, you would have to offer services or offer certifications for the services in 4 areas because those are the areas that we certify in the collision repair industry. Same with truck shops. If you're a fleet repair operation for medium and heavy trucks, there are 8 areas that you would have to account for. One other requirement, if you have a full-time service consultant, if you're a repair facility, or an estimator, if you're a collision repair facility, they must also hold ASE certification. So again, if you have a full-time service consultant or a full-time estimator, that would be part of your technical staff listing. And as I had mentioned, there's an annual renewal. Now let's review that qualification again because it can be a little confusing. Let's assume you have 4 technicians and you're a full-service shop. Again, mechanical repair shop, so you have 8 different areas. You can meet that requirement by having 3 of your 4 technicians certified. Say each of those 3 holding several certifications, and again, among the 3 being able to account for A1 through A8, so maybe the first guy has A1 through A3, the second one A4 through A6, and the third one A7 and A8. That works. But you can also have, if one of them happens to be a master technician, then the other 2 that have to be certified may only hold 1 or 2 certifications. So as long as you have 1 master technician on staff, you've already met the second qualification. And then the rest of your technicians must be certified, but they can be certified in any number of areas, as long as those areas correspond to the type of business that you're in. Again, if you're a collision shop, they would be the collision certifications. If you're a mechanical repair shop on light vehicles, they would be the auto series. If you're servicing medium and heavy trucks or a fleet operation, that would be the heavy-duty truck series. And again, the service consultants or estimators, if you have one full-time, must also hold certifications. There is an annual renewal process that you must go through to qualify for the shop, so we can make sure that that you still employ the technicians that you did, and the ones that you do have are in fact still certified. If you've added new folks, that is why we only require 75%, not 100%, to allow for attrition and for new folks coming in and out of the business. Now, what does it cost to be a Blue Seal program? There is a small fee. there is a $235 one-time application fee that you would pay that basically covers the materials that you receive when you are a Blue Seal business. There's also a $65 annual renewal fee. Again, the application fee is only paid once up front, and the annual renewal fee is when you requalify for the Blue Seal program. So what do you receive when you qualify as a Blue Seal shop? Well, the first thing you get is a customized wall plaque, and here's an example of it you'll see on the right. Has your business name, city, and state, and those little rectangles you see at the bottom are for date plates. We send you a date plate every year so you can not only show that you are currently qualified, but also display in increments of 6 the number of years that you've been qualified as an ASE Blue Seal shop. You receive a custom counter mat that is only available to Blue Seal shops that, again, would remind your customers and your counterman staff that you are something unique within the industry. You're one of the best shops. We also provide customer brochures that explain what it means to be a Blue Seal business and what the value is that your business provides to them for their service needs. And we also provide a promotional and marketing kit with some ideas and some interesting materials to help you promote the fact that you're a Blue Seal business. We also provide an exclusive outside sign, as I had mentioned earlier, that yellow sign with the blue background, with an annual renewal sticker. Now, the sign itself is an additional charge, but you're only charged one time for the sign, and the cost of the renewal sticker is included in that $65 annual renewal fee, so there's no additional costs. Again, if you want to see what the signage would cost, you can simply go to the ASE store on the ASE website at www.ase.com. Again, only those who qualify for Blue Seal recognition are allowed to order the Blue Seal sign or receive any of these materials. So what type of shops are in the Blue Seal program? Well, they're overwhelmingly independent repair shops. They have been the bedrock of the program from its very beginning, and they currently comprise about 38% of all Blue Seal programs. Independent collision repair shops are the second most popular segment within the Blue Seal program. They comprise about 23% of it. Government and civil service fleets and fleet repair together account for about 22% of total Blue Seal shops. And actually, it's interesting to note that the fleet market and the collision repair market are the two fastest growing areas of Blue Seal. Other segments within the Blue Seal program include tire dealers, about 2%, dealership collision shops as opposed to independent collision shops, which are about 7%. New car dealerships are about 4% of the total, and then the rest are basically miscellaneous, which would include things like some automotive hotlines that have qualified themselves as Blue Seal programs, etc. What exactly does that mean in raw numbers? We talk about percentages. Well, currently, today, there are 1,636 Blue Seal shops within the program. Of those, 618 are independent repair shops, 389 are independent collision repair shops. About 77 are dealership service, another 120 are dealership collision shops, about 36 tire shops, 226 government and fleet repair facilities, and about 136 general fleet repair facilities. Again, these are mostly having to do with medium and heavy truck repair, things like school buses, municipal fleets, that sort of thing, although they also comprise light vehicles as well. We have about 34 what we call miscellaneous members of the Blue Seal, and again, these could be anything from a hotline to some sort of service that provides information or other services to the automotive industry that employs ASE certified professionals as part of their process. Again, at the moment, the total Blue Seal occupation represents about 1,636 shops. Okay, so now that you've qualified for Blue Seal and you have the right people in place, what exactly do you do with it? Well, the first thing you want to do is promote your employment of ASE certified professionals. ASE has done some studies recently that show consumers do respond to qualifications. Some studies done out in California a number of years ago returned some impressive results. About 93% or more of consumers thought that knowing that their technicians working on their vehicles were qualified to do so was very important in their making a purchase decision. And again, they are continuously looking for qualifications to make sure that their service dollars are well spent. Promoting your employment of ASE certified professionals through the Blue Seal program, again, gives you a way to differentiate your shop and your business from others within the marketplace. and can allow you to promote the expertise that you employ to your consumer customers. But as part of the Blue Seal program, you can also use the ASE certification process as an assessment and career development tool within your organization. So having a high number of ASE certified professionals will not only pay dividends in increased key performance indicators such as greater first fix accuracy and fewer comebacks, it can also provide a way for you to have some valuable career development processes that will keep the people that you want to keep in your business happy and trained and effective on the job. It's definitely a marketing advantage. Again, we've shown that ASE certification is a symbol of quality that consumers do look for. Even in some of the other markets, such as collision repair, for example, consumers will encounter an ASE logo generally at a mechanical repair shop about once every 4 to 6 months. About once every 10 years, they can expect to have an accident statistically. But again, if you're a collision repair shop and you are looking for ways to promote the abilities and the quality of that your shop provides, relying on using the ASE certification symbol is something that consumers are very familiar with, again, when having their regular mechanical work done. So it can give them that feeling of security that they're looking for, the feeling of confidence that they report when they see the logo, and again, can definitely provide a marketing advantage to both your organization and the individuals within it. One interesting thing about the Blue Seal program that's happened not all that recently, but fairly recently, is that a lot of those extended services mechanical warranty programs use the Blue Seal program as one of their qualifiers. Many of those extended warranty programs specify that a consumer may have their vehicle repaired anywhere as long as the individual doing the repairs is an ASE certified technician. This is especially true on the collision repair side, where the ASE Blue Seal recognition program is used as a qualifier for some collision direct repair programs. Some of the insurance companies insist that the shops that they'd recommend to their policyholders have certain qualifications. These can be fulfilled in the areas of equipment and certain capabilities. One of the areas they've identified that helps to demonstrate the competence of the shops that are within their programs is the employees holding ASE certification. As a result, some of the insurance companies, again, now allow the Blue Seal recognition program to be one of the qualifiers to participate in their direct repair or preferred provider programs. There's also a big advantage if you happen to be a shop that has a vendor relationship with several municipal or fleet operations. Again, one of the fastest growing areas in the Blue Seal program is the fleet market, driven largely by liability concerns, but also for the career development capabilities that ASE certification provides. So if you're a shop that's out looking to grow some fleet business in your marketplace to help through the slow times, having Blue Seal recognition can give you a definite leg up on the competition when talking to fleet managers about the qualifications that your shop provides and the value that you can provide to their operations. That's pretty much it in a nutshell we have for the Blue Seal program. I told you this was going to be a fairly brief overview, but we'd like to take some time now. And Dave, do we have any questions we can answer?
Yes, Tony, indeed we do. So I'm going to start at the top. It looks like we might have around half a dozen questions. Let's field this one first. Question is if I have 4 estimators, how many must be certified out of that 4?
Okay, the way the program rules are written at the moment, and they're constantly up for revision, if you had 4 estimators and all 4 were full-time, then 3 of them must be ASE certified. If you had one of those estimators that was full-time and the rest were only part-time, then you would have to have 1. It really depends on how you employ the estimators, but again, the answer to the question is if you have 4 full-time estimators, at least 3 of them must be ASE certified to meet that 75% requirement.
Okay, thank you, Tony. Here's another one. If I am going to open a transmission shop, do I need to get A1 through A8?
That's an interesting question. If you are a specialty shop that is only doing transmission work, large mechanical repair shops, you will be required to hold that certification. But that would have to be a case-by-case basis, and it would depend on the application. If you are doing other services, many repair shops transmission repair shops now, for example, are branching out into other types of service, brakes, even basic maintenance services. So it's very rare to find a shop that only does purely transmission work in that regard. But again, at that point, I would say fill out the application and submit it, and then that would be the best way to advise you on exactly what certifications you would need based on the services that you report performing.
Okay, Tony, here's one here about the research report that you cited. Somebody's wondering if they might be able to get a look at that so that they can share that with management.
Sure. Actually, the research report that I cited was actually in one of our previous webinars when we talked about the value of ASE. So if you go back and look at the previous webinar that we did, and Dave, help me out on the date for that one, some of those research slides are within that report. If you are talking to your management about the ASE Blue Seal program and you would like a custom PowerPoint to provide to management that mirrors what we just did this evening, then simply contact ASE either through the website, through the webmaster, and ask for a copy of the Blue Seal presentation that we have this evening, and I'll be happy to provide it.
Okay, Tony, here's another one that's not, I don't think it's specifically in reference to Blue Seal shops, but is there a number out there about how many repair shops that there actually are? Independent shops in the market, at least?
That's a great question. Actually, that really depends on who you talk to. The best estimates I've seen lately, if you go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, you're going to see somewhere north of about 250,000 shops. I've seen as many as 300,000 quoted, but it really depends on what you mean by repair shop, and there's no real clear definition among the governmental sources that we have as to what constitutes a repair shop. I'll give you an example. In some cases, they regard gasoline repair stations or gasoline stations as service stations, and in some cases, as we all know, what used to be a gasoline service station is now a gasoline quick mart, basically. So some of the data from the government is a little bit skewed, but the best industry sources that we have peg the number at somewhere between 240 and 260,000 shops right now within the United States of all kinds. That would include, medium and light dealer independents. I don't have any hard numbers on just the independent repair shops, but that is something that you might be able to find, again, looking in the Bureau of Labor Statistics or the Department of Labor, or perhaps checking with some of the aftermarket organizations such as the Automotive Service Association that might be able to give you a better idea of exactly how many independent shops are out there.
Okay, Tony, here's one on certification tests, more for collision. And anyway, it's does the body shop certification test the technician for the most current technology of repairs? For example, resistant spot welders, unibody, high-strength seals, etc.
As it relates to the welding process, the actual welding certification is usually handled by the American Welding Society. There is a welding qualification test that is delivered by the ICAR folks, the Inter-Industry Congress on Automotive Repair. ASE doesn't do any actual hands-on testing in that regard. So again, as far as the specific question of welding, I would refer you to either the ICAR welding qualification test or the American Welding Society, AWS. As far as everything else goes, ASE certifications are built within workshops that have subject matter experts whose sole job is to make sure that the ASE certification tests do cover the latest technology. So while the actual process of doing a repair will often be governed by, for example, a manufacturer recommendation, the knowledge necessary to do that repair, regardless of what process is used, is covered in the appropriate ASE certification test. So the answer to the question is yes, generally, as it relates to the knowledge necessary and the latest technology. ASE tests are updated on average about every 2 years. Some are updated every year in the case of some of our advanced L-series tests. But in no cases is an ASE certification test any older than about 3 years as far as technology goes. And again, the individuals within the, especially the collision repair workshops, are from the industry, from those businesses and collision repair facilities that are doing these types of repairs, along with the manufacturer representatives. So we have input from both the OEM side and from the individuals working in the independent shops out in the field to make sure that the tests are in fact covering the latest information. It's also interesting to note, by the way, that many of the training organizations out there actually use the ASE task lists and content areas as the standard for developing their training curriculum. So again, the ASE task lists and content areas would be the outline, if you will, for what training providers then take to develop their training programs to not only help an individual, say, prepare for an ASE test, but also to make sure that the knowledge they're imparting covers all the latest tools and techniques. Anything else, Dave? These are great questions, by the way. Keep them coming.
I'm a small shop and I am master certified. Do I need estimator or consultant certification?
If you are a small shop and you are master certified, it depends on what you mean by small shop. If you do not have a full-time estimator and you do not have a full-time service consultant, then no, you do not need to be one. If you are, for example, the shop owner and you are the only one certified in your business and you are a one-man operation, then you would qualify under the technical side of things. If you are a shop owner and you are basically spend most of your time essentially acting as either an estimator or a service consultant and have other individuals within your business actually doing the work, then yes, you would have to. Again, this is one of those questions that we really have to see an application and evaluate exactly what it is you're reporting in the way of business and what type of things you work on to make a proper judgment about it.
Tony, I know these almost sound like word problems.
Let's keep them coming. Dave, anything
back to math word problems here. I work at a private shop that does general repairs. There are only 4 employees. There is the owner, the service writer, and 2 master techs. The owner does not work there, so there are really only 3 active employees. Do we qualify for the Blue Seal program?
Okay, this is a math problem. How do you take 75% of 3? Okay, you can't take a half a technician. So in the case of the 2 master techs, you would absolutely have qualified the business as far as having someone certified in all areas. But if you have 3 individuals who are doing the work and all 3 of those individuals are actually touching the vehicles or actually working on the cars or trucks or whatever, then in the case of the 75% rule, all 3 of those individuals would need to be ASE certified because we can't have a percentage of an individual certified. It should be noted, by the way, that the ASE Blue Seal program is currently undergoing review by our board of directors, and we're looking at things like the 75% rule to see if it is still appropriate and, again, if it actually is fitting the need for the shops that want to be in the program. So again, it's a lot easier when it's divisible by 4. I will say that. But again, when in doubt, if you only have 3 employees, then if you want to be in the Blue Seal program, I would encourage all 3 to be certified. The good news is if you have 2 master techs and the 3rd individual can be certified in one area, it really doesn't make any difference. For example, that 3rd individual could be certified just in one area, say brakes, or in the case of a collision shop, maybe non-structural repair, and the shop would still qualify. Any more curveballs, Dave?
We did have a question, and it's probably on other people's minds as well, about eligibility of the G1 certification for Blue Seal at this time.
The G1 has not been integrated into the Blue Seal program at this time simply because it's so new. As you know, we just launched the test in July, and actually the current testing administration in October, November is the first full-time opportunity to take the test in one of our normal test cycles. We expect to have the G1 integrated, or at least a definition of how the G1 should be integrated into the Blue Seal program shortly after the first of the year. Again, this is being discussed by the Board of Directors, but right now we just simply don't know because, again, it's still too new. And I guess maybe to answer that question a little better, right now you don't actually need the G1, but if you have the G1, it would certainly be a qualifier if you had an individual who was doing, say, only maintenance work. So when in doubt, better to have it than not. Anything else, Dave?
I think those are most of the questions that we've received this evening. Tony, do we have any other announcements of any news here at ASE?
Well, the next, let me get to the next slide here. We do have 3 things on the agenda that we want to bring up. The first is that the testing registration for the fall testing administration is now open. Registration runs through the 22nd, I believe, or 23rd of, I'm sorry, the 22nd of November. And the testing starts October 1st and currently runs until November the 29th. However, I should note that for those of you who are taking the test in the fall administration, remember that the last 3 days of the month of November are the Thanksgiving and Hanukkah holidays. So if you are scheduled to take a test, perhaps you would want to get your test scheduled before the end of the testing program. You may run into a crunch towards the end where we expect a lot of the testing centers to be closed, again, over Thanksgiving and maybe through the holiday. There are 2 other announcements. Actually, one we've already mentioned, the new G1 maintenance and auto maintenance and light repair certification is a brand new certification category for entry-level technicians, and those involved primarily in maintenance. We've had very good reports back from the field on those who have taken the test so far, and if you've never taken an ASE test before, this might be a great place to start. There is information on the ASE website along with some free tutorials about the new testing program. If you're one of the ones who hasn't tried the new computer-based testing yet, it's a great way to get a feel for what to expect once you get to the test center, what the how the process works, how to use the buttons, that sort of thing. So I would encourage you to go check that out. We also have recently updated since we've been talking about it, the service consultant test. The C1 was just updated this year. We talked about how relevant the ASE tests are. There's an example of one who's fresh out of the oven, if you will. We have changed the emphasis of the test a little bit to cover more of the soft skills more commonly used in that role within the service business. And again, it's a new updated version of the C1 test that we think you'll be happy with as far as it covering more relevant topics and again being adjusted to the changing needs of the business. The third announcement isn't really an announcement yet, but ASE is currently working for January of 2015 to launch a new hybrid test, hybrid electric vehicles actually, and we have been working with several organizations and individuals within the industry. The workshops are ongoing right now to develop that test. We will be, again, launching it, scheduled to launch in January of 2015. We've held several workshops, and in fact, you'll be seeing more about that as we get closer to the launch date as far as what the test list content areas and probably prerequisites are going to be. The hybrid electric test will be another member of the L series, so it'll be one of our advanced tests. As you know, any of you who hold the L series or L1 or L2 designations, there are prerequisites that you must attain before you can register for the test. The same will be true for the hybrid electric vehicle, light hybrid electric vehicle test, but we're again still in the development process, so we haven't actually defined those. And I guess the last point we'll make is the survey. After this webinar is over, you will have the opportunity to kind of give us some feedback as to how we're doing, what you'd like to see, that sort of thing. So we would encourage you to please respond to our survey. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody who took the time to join us this evening. I hope it's been helpful. If you have any other questions or would like to see more information about the Blue Seal program, by all means go to the ASE website at ase.com, and again click on the Car Owners tab to see to get to the ASE search engine to see what that looks like. And again, if you click on Shop Owners, you will see the information on how to download the application and pretty much what I discussed this evening as far as some of the values that the Blue Seal program can provide.
Hey, Tony, we got one last-minute question that came in here, and I think it's probably a good one. Question reads: Can you tell me which DRPs either recommend or require the ASE Blue Seal program?
When they say DRPs, I assume they mean insurance companies. Right now, I know that Allstate does allow the Blue Seal program as a qualifier. We have also been in discussions with AAA up in Northern California. That may not be nationwide yet, but AAA in Northern California is certainly taking a look at it. But many, as I had mentioned, many of the extended warranty companies already either allow or require, frankly, ASE certified professionals to be a qualifier for having work done under their programs, their insurance programs. And again, if you look, it really depends on the insurance provider, but if you look at many of the insurance provider DRP arrangements, many of them already have written in it's an allowance that you could use your ASE certifications as a qualifier. If you're not sure about it, I would encourage you to ask your insurance providers that you do have relationships with, and take a look at their DRP arrangements and look for mention of the ASE certification, either as part of the Blue Seal program or just ASE certification in general as a qualifier. I think you might be surprised. But again, Allstate and I know AAA, Allstate definitely does it right now. AAA is in the process of taking a look at it, and there are undoubtedly others.
Right, Tony, I think that pretty much rounds it out for
Anything
tonight.
else?
I think that rounds it out. Thanks, everybody, for joining us tonight.
Okay, great.
On behalf of Tony Mala, Julie White, and this is Dave Kappert, thanks again for joining us for tonight's webinar. We try to hold these on the last Tuesday of the month, and we've been consistent with that. Watch your email for announcement of next month's coming up, and we hope to see you then. Thanks again for joining us, and have a good night.